So for this exercise, we're going to be going over some of the breathing basics that I work on with people, especially if somebody is struggling to find their obliques on their breath. Okay, a lot of people will overengage their six-pack muscle, which would be right in the front here, or they're just not getting all of their air out to even get those obliques to engage. So what I'm going to have you do is you're going to be in a 90-90 position. If this has any discomfort on your hips or pinching in your hips, you could also just be down in a hook lying position like this, okay? But for right now, I'm going to have you go up into a 90-90. And I want you to feel like your low back is flat in this position. If you feel like you're still kind of arching off the table, you can throw a pillow just under your butt, and that'll just kind of help get your back a little flatter into the ground. So once you're here, what I want you to do is you're going to take your fingers and you are going to put them right about the same height as your belly button, but on the sides. Okay, so just to show you here, we're not going to be in the middle, we're not going to be on the sides, we're going to be kind of right in between. All right, if you find that kind of bump on your ribs there, you're like right below that basically. So once you're here, okay, what I'm going to have you do is put some decent pressure with your fingers. You want to feel your abdominal cavity here indent with that pressure from the fingers. I'll see a lot of people just lightly press here, and I just want you to go a little bit deeper. That's going to be helpful for you to feel those muscles kind of pop out. So once you're here, what I want you to do is you are going to just practice some breaths in through your nose, nice and quiet, so you should barely hear yourself breathe, but you're still getting a deep breath. And then I want you to exhale, all right? We're gonna first start with fogging up a mirror. So you're going to have your mouth wide open, almost like it's falling off the hinges. And you're just gonna let out the biggest sigh you possibly can for as long as you possibly can, okay? So let's just go ahead and practice that. Let's just get the technique down, and then we'll bring our hands into it next. So you're gonna be here, you're gonna take a nice deep breath in. Pause for 1 to 3 seconds, and then repeat. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like, okay? I'll have you probably doing about 3 to 5 breaths in a row. But what I want you to bring your attention to is what you're feeling under your fingers in this kind of soft spot of your abdomen. What should be occurring is towards the end of the exhale, okay? It's not going to happen in the beginning, probably not even in the middle, but towards the very end, what you should feel is a muscle starting to pop up into your fingers, okay? And it's going to be happening on its own. You're not actively telling it to contract. It just will naturally happen if you continue to keep getting all your breath out. So what you're going to find is it might feel very faint in the beginning, like something's just barely pushing your fingers. But as you keep practicing, trying to get to that point where you feel that muscle starting to kick on more and more, it should eventually almost push your fingers. If you kind of watch my hands here, okay, you'll see that at the very end, my fingers will almost be flush with the outside of my abdomen again, okay? So here I go. Even when I think I'm out of breath, I keep going, and that little extra like 2 to 3 seconds is when those muscles really start to kick on to help drop your ribs or depress and retract your ribs. And that is when those muscles will kick on, okay? So this might take a little practice. You might not get it right away. You might not even feel it right away. But if you continue working on this, you're gonna start to feel that muscle popping out. And this is what I think so many people are lacking in their breathing exercises, especially once you get to higher level positions. It's like all they feel is their six-pack muscle because they never truly learn to activate their obliques, okay? Now, if you are still struggling, that fogging up the mirror is not working, another option is to try blowing out birthday candles. So that's just gonna look like this. Once again, you're gonna have to keep exhaling. Your body might tell you you're out of air, but I promise you there's more in there, okay? So I want you to try both of those. See which one works best for you. There's some that are better for certain body types, but for right now, I just want you to feel these muscles without feeling your kind of right in the middle, midline, like belly button from your rib cage down to your pubic bone. I don't want that over activating, okay? A few other tips with this. Relax your head, relax your neck, relax your face. I'll see people's faces turning red because they are trying so hard, and that's just gonna kind of put us in the opposite of what we need. That's gonna put you into like sympathetic or fight or flight mode. We don't need that. We need to go into a nice relaxed state here. So I'm just gonna show you one more time, okay? We're gonna go through the steps. You're gonna be in 90-90. I want your back flat to the floor. If you feel like you need a pillow just to prop your butt up a little bit, go for it. If not, totally don't need it. All right, you're gonna relax your face, relax your jaw. I kind of like to even just lift my head a little bit so I'm not tucked like this. That just helps open up your airway. You're gonna take your fingers kind of right at the same height as your belly button, but to the sides here. You're gonna put some decent pressure, especially once you're ready to start the exhale. That's when I want you pushing in, okay? And then you're gonna take a nice, easy, light, silent, but still deep breath in through the nose. Some other cues can be placing the tongue on the roof of your mouth as you're inhaling. Okay, make sure your lips are shut when you're inhaling. And then exhale as much breath out as you can, like you were fogging up a mirror or blowing out birthday candles. Keep going, even when you think you're out of breath, keep going. And what we're looking for is to feel these muscles here actually pushing our fingers out of that cavity, okay? We want to feel a nice strong contraction there. And then you're gonna pause for about 1 to 2 seconds, even 3 seconds if you can. And the goal is on that pause, you're still kind of maintaining that tension you built under your fingers, okay? You're still trying to keep that muscle active, and then you're gonna repeat and go to the inhale, okay? Starting there is a great place. Once you get that down, eventually we're gonna want to keep these muscles slightly tight the entire time. So once they turn on, they're gonna stay on for the pause, and then they're also probably gonna stay on for the inhale. Maybe not as strong as at the very end of the exhale, but they're gonna be still active, okay? That's gonna be very important down the road. Right now, I just want you to get that feeling of feeling those muscles push your fingers out of your abdominal cavity there. And it's not because you're actively flexing, it's you're using your breath to do it. And that is the best way to activate those without getting everything else kicking on at the same time. You're gonna wanna do 3 to 4 sets of about 5 breaths. Practice this a lot, and once you get this down, it's much easier to go into some higher level positions where you're really gonna start to feel those obliques burn even more. But for people who don't use these muscles currently, just this in itself can cause those muscles to activate a ton and even cramp sometimes. So give that a try. If you have any questions, please let me know.